We popped a bit of fleece over at Topper's plants last night because it was dropping quite cold. I think we've got a day or so left of that and then we should be alright. But that makes a whole difference. As you can see, these plants are perfectly fine. More potato plants that we're going to have to pot on, but nothing wrong with the foliage on those. They're not going dark or anything, so that's that job sorted. I even left these cherry tomato plants outside as well. They're a bit leggy these, but we know we can sort that out. Main thing is they're not dying. I'll just quickly show you this pepper plant. If you remember, we selected one pepper plant out of all the ones that we got and we topped it. We pinched about 4 leaves off the top of that plant to encourage side growth, to get a bushier pepper plant later on. And this was doing exactly that. We're moving close. You should be able to see all these little side shoots that we've got now. They're all starting to poke out in between those branches. Hopefully you can see that okay. So that's brilliant, that's doing exactly what we wanted it to. And this was also in greenhouse under that thin piece of fleece all night. And it's not suffered at all. So the days are getting better. Unfortunately, I've reached that point now where I've got to make some decisions. We've got a week before we move now, and that's not a long time to sort out all your things indoors, what you're taking and what you're not. And of course, there's things that's in garden that I'd like to take as well. Unfortunately, the price of renting a big van is a bit expensive, so we've had to go for a smaller van, and now we'll decide how much of each we're going to be taking. Obviously, we're not going to be taking a lot of furniture, but we have got personal belongings that we definitely want to take with us. But as you'll know, I've got lots and lots of pots and containers in garden, and I just cannot take everything. If you remember those wooden planters that I showed you recently, they were made ones. I had 14 of those, but I've had to sell quite a few off, and I've only kept 4. And then we've got things like as trays that we use quite often. There's 2-litre pots, and there's 9cm pots. I need a supply of those, but once again, I've basically had to half what I can take. We can, however, put things inside things to allow us to take a little bit extra. But apart from that, the greenhouses can't be taken with us. So 1's been scrapped, 2 have been sold, and this is the last one that we've got. 12 foot by 8, which is apparently getting collected later on today by somebody. So all the greenhouses will have gone. All the hoop tunnels and netting, they've all gone to a good cause. I've even donated a few things to people to help them out early season. And even though we got rid of that T-Rex plant that I thought were amazing, that we've had years, I did salvage a baby one. We dug that up a year or so ago. It was a little offshoot from the main plant, so we dug it up and we potted it on, and it was tiny. But this is looking really healthy. So that'll go into a really big container. We'll put that next to the van, and then we'll have a nice little replacement for the one we've had to get rid of. But somebody really took to that plant. So I said to him, if you want to come and dig that plant up, you're perfectly welcome to take it for free, which they have done. All these decisions can be a bit difficult, but you've got to be realistic. You've not got lots and lots of space, so you kind of try and take the best of everything. But we have got lots and lots of really big, heavy, solid containers. And I'm not sure we're going to be able to take all those either. All these plants have got to come out of this greenhouse today in order for somebody to collect this greenhouse. But we're alright, because last year we built that beer shelter behind me. We used to just chill out in there in summer and have a glass of wine or 4. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of a rack in there. We can take all those plants out and put them in that shelter, so they've got a bit of shelter from wind, and then we can put fleece over the top if we get any more frost. So everything will be perfectly alright. And that's kind of a start to his new miniature container garden. It'll serve us alright for the next few days, and then when we get down there, we'll start buying replacement things. Things that look really nice outside the van. And it doesn't hurt every now and again to go down the road of change, even though we've not had much of a choice in that really. I'll go and take a look outside at what we've moved and what potentially we could take and we can't take. But before I do that, thank you very much to us latest donators. I really appreciate the generosity of people on this channel. It's been amazing, and it's really helping us out a lot over the last few weeks to sort ourselves out for this big move. And the donators were Peter Fisher, Glennis Robinson, Eric Pearce, Dawn Poulter and Anne Trotter. So thank you so much for your generosity. I really do massively appreciate it. Let's go and take a look outside at what's left. Well, there's one thing that we're definitely not going to be taking, and that's this compost bins. I don't think they'd appreciate that on site at all, and it's not feasible. So if somebody moves into this property and decides to do some gardening, they've already got compost on way and the facility to keep making more. And that's that shelter that we sorted out last year. It's got quite a bit of room in it, so we can use this to put a couple of racks in and get us plants set up for next week or so. We can't take that piece of tree though. We got that from a friend a few years ago because it was just comical. He just cut us a slice off of the tree trunk in his garden. Unfortunately, that's now starting to fall apart. So once again, that's something we're going to have to leave. Along with this pallet that we converted to grow plants in. Really good plants. They'd live basically through anything, those. But we just can't take things like that with us. It's going to take up too much space. And that's where the T-Rex were. Unfortunately, now gone. But it's gone to a good home, to somebody who really wanted it and will definitely appreciate it. And then we've got to sort this greenhouse out. I told the guy who was coming for the greenhouse to strip it down himself. I did strip the other three myself, but this being the last one, I'd rather somebody else did it. And it's a really good greenhouse for him. Not sure what I'm going to do with that sweet pea plant. I might just start some off from fresh. And we've got various bits and bobs to clear up in garden. I'm not taking that garlic with me either. The container's going to be too heavy. We'll start some more. There's certainly a little bit of work to do around here. There's also plenty of spare glass for the guy when he comes for a greenhouse as well, which is welcome too. I've got all my salads and stuff outside on this table, doing really well again. There's plenty of salad to go out there. This one is not doing so good, so I think we might have cut that one a bit too low in centre. But there's still plenty on its way. And salad is really quick and easy to grow, so that's not going to be a problem. But compared to what it were, you can see now there's no up tunnels, there's no greenhouses, there's no containers around anywhere apart from the ones I've just shown you. It's just all things that need doing. Not much or anything left in this shed. I won't be taking that barbecue either. It's not really private enough for you to have a barbecue. I'm also going to leave all those trays and containers up there. And then we've got a pear tree, which is a shame really, because we bought that as a really small plant and it's been growing in there for the last 5 years and we always get pears off it. But again, that's something that I can't take with me. But I am planning on buying a couple of fruit trees once I get down there, and we can have a couple either side at Caravan. Maybe cherry and plum. So that'll make up for losing that. There's also not much left in here. We've been sorting through lots and lots of plant pots because we have got a lot. So I'm trying to keep these big ones so I can put tomato plants in them and then some smaller ones. And that's the 4 wooden containers that I'm keeping. So I've started filling those up with various size pots and cells, a few trays. That's pretty much all I can take with me. But I've also got 4 big bags of pots and containers that I can't take, which is a shame. Lots and lots of those 10-litre containers as well, and that big one there. The important thing is when we move, we need to make sure everything looks nice. And that was his container garden area, which obviously is not going to get used now. We've got some nice ferns and asters here as well, and I'm definitely taking those with us. Some really nice looking plants. And some just on the way. But again, there's also quite a lot that are going to have to stay. I'm definitely making sure that we've got room for his blueberry bush. This is doing really well this year, so no matter what, I'm going to find some space for that. It's not easy making all these decisions about things that you've been growing for a long time especially, but in our current situation, the decisions that have to be made, it's not feasible to try and take everything. We could accommodate pretty much most of it in the area around that van that we've got, but it's more a case of transporting it in first place. I don't want to be making a 4-hour round trip more than once. I want to get packed up, move on and start getting set up. We've got to get his internet sorted out when we get there as well. But as always, I'll make the best of a bad job. So for today, it's just going to be a case of get these plants out, put them on a rack, get them in that shelter, and then this is ready to go. So in a week's time, we're going to be in Lincolnshire, setting up his new container garden. We'll be buying new things to make it look as nice as possible. So if you're interested in seeing how we set up this new caravan container garden, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell. I look forward to seeing you then. You all take care.